My journey as a Buckeye started long before enrolling as a student, just down the road in Mason, Ohio. I grew up in a multicultural household shaped largely by the American dream pursued by my grandparents, who had immigrated from Greece and Cuba in the 1950s and 60s. My family instilled in me faith in God, a hard work ethic, and a desire to pursue education to its fullest. When starting my college search, I set my sights on small engineering programs at private liberal arts institutions, with Ohio State in the back of my mind as a safety school, especially knowing that over 100 of my high school peers at Mason would also enroll in the fall. I was fortunate to be accepted to several Ivy League and top private institutions, like Harvard, Cornell, and Vanderbilt, but upon seeing their expensive price tag, I really worked to unpack the value of each school's program offering, as opposed to deciding purely off of overall ranking and prestige. And on my final visit to Ohio State, I discovered the Integrated Business and Engineering Honors Program, IBE, which was the deciding factor in my decision to become a Buckeye. I was quickly sold by the idea of joining a selective cohort of honor students, pursuing both engineering and business studies, while also being a full-fledged Buckeye Nation member who could be in the shoe on Saturdays. Being surrounded by some of the university's best and brightest minds in IBE constantly pushed me to be the best student and young professional I can be. And little did I know that through IBE, I would make some of my best friends, meet instrumental mentors, uncover exciting career pathways, and would ultimately develop my capacity to innovate. Things that are most memorable and that I'm most proud of from IBE include freshman year, where I worked on a product development cornerstone project, which challenged my team to design a new product to address unmet user needs and allowed us to pitch our business opportunity to investors. During sophomore and junior year, our class got to engage in an MBA-level seminar focused on technology strategy and innovation management, which taught us to think about how to create, capture, and deliver value within technology-driven organizations and dynamic global markets. And finally, in senior year, I've been fortunate to work on a capstone project where I've been able to integrate my learnings in business and engineering to help a client think through a digital transformation for their suite of energy storage safety solutions, which has included presenting identified market opportunities and product strategy roadmaps to their CEO. Beyond the classroom and achievements of our students, I am most proud of the community that has emerged and flourished within IBE over the years. Early on, several of my peers and I embarked on building out a student leadership board to give back to the program. Initially, we focused on building camaraderie across IBE cohorts through social events, but it was not long until our team was working alongside the professors to facilitate info sessions for prospective students, to create professional development workshops and networking opportunities, as well as working hard to connect our growing alumni network. One of my favorite memories was when the student board organized the first alumni dinner and tailgate in order to welcome back our first several cohorts of alums for homecoming. I'll never forget watching our underclassmen, especially the freshmen, hit it off with our alums who they had never even met before. Clearly, a strong bond unites IBEers, no matter where we are in our college or career journey. The exposure and experiences gained in IBE are unparalleled at the undergraduate level, and I'm convinced that many of my peers will go on to become leaders within their respective industries. I'm especially grateful to IBE Engineering Director Dr. Peter Rogers for his tireless commitment to improving the program, his thoughtful mentorship of my student leadership board, and his fun-loving attitude that he brings to work each and every day. I am convinced the program would not have the same level of impact without his leadership, and I wish him all the best in his upcoming retirement. I have also always enjoyed all things flying, especially growing up in the birthplace of aviation and visiting the Wright-Patterson Air Force Museum with my dad as a kid. Fortunately, during my junior year, I discovered a new community on campus which shares my passion for aerospace, the Battelle Center for Science, Engineering, and Public Policy. Led by two visionaries, Dr. Elizabeth Newton and Dr. John Horak, the Battelle Center prepares future leaders for nationally critical industries like aerospace and defense by equipping students with an understanding of how policy, economics, and technology come together to shape the dynamics of those industries. Within the past year, I uncovered urban air mobility, or UAM, which has been a perfect match for my lifelong interest in aviation and growing desire to work on cutting-edge innovation. Electric propulsion, autonomous flight systems, and lightweight composites all promise a Jetsons-like future of flying taxis to form the third dimension of mobility. This fall, I shared my interest in UAM with Dr. Newton, and together we brainstormed ways to raise awareness and get more students and faculty involved in the space on campus. We decided to take to the skies by hosting the inaugural Ohio Urban Air Mobility Symposium to consider what aerial mobility will mean for the state of Ohio. Interest in the event quickly snowballed after combining our combined campus networks to further reach the Ohio Department of Transportation, the Jobs Ohio Economic Development Team, as well as the state's Legislative Committee for Aerospace and Aviation Technology. I am proud to share that 200 members of industry, academia, and government, as well as many students, convened in February at the Blackwell for a day filled with panels and keynotes spanning vehicle technology, operational challenges, infrastructure planning, and community integration considerations for UAM. And this event featured thought leaders from NASA, the FAA, Honeywell, and Uber, just to name a few. Even third graders presented their smart city projects, showcasing how Ohio's future transportation workforce is looking brighter than ever before. I never would have dreamt that before graduating college, I could contribute to the future of transportation in my Ohio community and in such a meaningful way. But thanks to the unwavering commitment of faculty champions like Dr. Newton to her students, even the most ambitious of visions can be brought into fruition. The professional experiences and networking gained by coordinating such a large industry event have helped prepare me for my next phase of advising senior clients at the world's largest companies and government organizations as a management consultant with McKinsey & Company, and furthermore, to play a role in shaping the future of air transportation. Although my senior year did not end in the way that I or any of my classmates expected, there is no doubting that my time at Ohio State has largely influenced the person I am today. And the experiences and relationships I have made would not have been possible to the same extent without the generous support of my scholarship donors, who have allowed me to go all in on my academic, extracurricular, and professional pursuits while at Ohio State. I look forward to continuing our university's time-honored tradition of paying it forward as an active alumni and scholarship donor, and hope to share the transformational experiences and relationships I have been very blessed to have as a Buckeye engineer and to pass those on to future generations.